60 duels to the death, 0 losses. When we hear the name Miyamoto Musashi, we picture the ultimate, honorable samurai. A noble warrior who bowed respectfully before a fight, followed a strict moral code, and defeated his enemies with the elegant strike of a katana. Forget all of that. The real Miyamoto Musashi didn't care about your rules. He didn't care about honor in the traditional sense. He showed up hours late to death matches just to piss his opponents off. He beat grown men to death with pieces of wood. He attacked from the shadows, blinded his enemies with the sun, and used every dirty psychological trick in the book to survive. Musashi wasn't just a swordsman. He was a master of psychological warfare. But how did an angry, abandoned teenager become a philosophical genius whose book, the Book of Five Rings, is studied by world leaders today? We're breaking down the dark psychology and the ultimate success framework of Miyamoto Musashi, too. Understand Musashi's mindset. You have to understand the nightmare he was born into. It was late 16th century Japan, the Sengoku. Period. A time of endless, brutal civil war. Life was cheap. Musashi didn't have a loving childhood. His father was a master swordsman, but also a harsh, abusive man who eventually kicked Musashi out of the house, rejected and alone. Musashi realized a terrifying truth about the world. Nobody is coming to save you. You are either the predator or the prey. He chose to be the predator. At just 13 years old, a local samurai challenged anyone to a duel. Young Musashi stepped up, armed with nothing but a wooden stick. He rushed the grown man, threw him to the ground, and beat him to death at 13. Why did he do it? Because in Musashi's mind, hesitation equaled death. He learned early on that success isn't about playing fair. It's about absolute, unshakable intent. At 16, he left his village to wander Japan, seeking out the greatest masters to test his theory. This began the legendary streak of 60 victories. But how did he beat guys who had trained in elite dojos their entire lives? The secret to Musashi's success was his absolute rejection of dogma. While other samurai were obsessed with looking good and following strict traditions, Musashi was a ruthless pragmatist. Take his war against the famous Yoshioka school. He challenged the master of the school. But instead of arriving at dawn, Musashi showed up hours late. The master was boiling with rage, losing his emotional center. Musashi walked in, calm as ice, and killed him with a single strike. When the clan ambushed him later with dozens of men, he didn't fight fair. He arrived early, hid, and triggered mass panic. People called him a coward. Musashi called it strategy. He realized that if you can control your opponent's mind, you don't even need to fight their body. His masterpiece of psychological warfare was against his greatest rival, Sasaki Kojiro. Kojiro had a massive sword. Musashi showed up late on a boat, carving a giant wooden sword out of a spare oar. Why an oar? Because he calculated it was exactly a few inches longer than Kojiro's blade. He didn't care about aesthetics. By his late 20s, he was undefeated. But this is where the story gets fascinating. Musashi had a profound realization. He realized physical success has a ceiling. To reach true greatness, you have to master the mind. Did you know the greatest killer in Japan was also one of its greatest artists? He painted birds, sculpted wood, and mastered calligraphy. He believed that the deep focus required to paint is the exact same focus required to swing a sword. He hacked the flow state. In 1643, knowing he was dying, Musashi climbed a mountain and isolated himself in a freezing, damp cave to write his magnum opus. The Book of Five Rings teaches you how to read people, use your environment, and stay emotionally detached in chaos. His final gift was the Dokkodo, the way of walking alone. It is the ultimate blueprint for a disciplined life. Accept everything just the way it is. Do not seek pleasure for its own sake. Think lightly of yourself and deeply of the world. Musashi died alone in that cave, sitting upright in a meditation posture. He left behind no money, just a mindset that made him immortal. He proved that true success isn't just about destroying your obstacles, it's about conquering yourself. If this video changed your perspective, hit the like button and subscribe. If you know the way broadly, you will see it in everything.